All right, so ready to nail this telecommunications engineer interview.
That's right.
I mean, you've got to be ambitious, right?
Yeah.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics, they're saying this field is going to grow faster than average.
Me too.
And the earning potential.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say it's there.
It's definitely there.
But to get a piece of that, you got to be in it to win it.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what we are doing today.
100%. Let's do it.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's interview guide,
Love it.
giving you that extra edge, that special something to help you land that job.
Awesome.
Now, I'm excited for this one.
Right.
Because telecommunications engineering, it's a field that is just exploding.
It really is. It's a great field, demanding.
Oh, absolute.
But the rewards are there
Yes.
if you can handle the heat.
Okay, so speaking of handling the heat,
Yeah.
the interview,
Yes.
it's a crucial step.
For sure.
And sometimes it can feel a little bit like a pressure cooker.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Especially in this field,
Right.
There's a lot to know.
So let's get into it. Let's jump right into some of these common interview questions that you might encounter.
All right, let's do it.
So first up,
Okay.
this one seems simple, but, sometimes the simplest ones can trip you up. How did you become interested in telecommunications engineering?
Oh, I love this question.
Yeah.
It's your chance to really show the interviewer who you are, where your passion comes from.
Right.
I think the key here is to avoid giving a generic answer.
Okay, so not just, oh, I've always loved technology.
You're right. Exactly. Dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
What was that spark? Was there a specific project you worked on, a mentor who inspired you? Maybe you were just fascinated by how signals traveled wirelessly.
I like that.
Find that story, the story that makes you you.
Because everyone can say, oh, yeah, I'm good with technology, or I'm good with this, that, whatever. But
Right.
what makes you stand out?
Exactly.
What makes your journey unique?
100%.
Okay.
All right. What's next?
Okay, so moving on.
Yeah.
This one's a little more technical.
Okay.
What is your experience working with different types of telecommunications equipment?
Okay.
Is it time to name drop every gadget you've ever seen?
It's tempting to want to do that,
Right.
Show off all your knowledge. But I would say focus on where your experience is strongest.
Okay.
Choose those areas where you feel really confident and then dive deep.
So it's better to be a master of, a few than a jack of all trades.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay. So mention specific types of equipment like routers, switches, even specific brands or models.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The more specific, the better.
Okay, but
And here's the catch.
yeah.
Be honest.
Mhm.
Don't oversell yourself.
Okay.
Because they will ask follow-up questions.
They'll sniff it out.
They will.
Okay.
They're experts in their field.
Right.
They're going to know if you're bluffing.
All right, so honesty is the best policy. Okay, so now for a question that really tests your understanding.
Okay.
Can you explain the difference between analog and digital telecommunications systems?
The classic analog versus digital.
I can already see the circuit diagrams in my head.
Right. And you know what? That's what you want to avoid. You don't want to overwhelm them with jargon,
Okay.
technical terms.
Right.
Keep it simple.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Imagine you're explaining this to your grandparents.
Okay.
How would you make them understand?
Okay.
Analog is like a vinyl record, Continuous wave. Digital, that's like your CD. Information's broken down into those bits.
Okay.
Simple, relatable, shows you get it.
I love that analogy.
Okay, good.
Speaking of getting things back up and running, here's a big one.
Okay, hit me.
How do you troubleshoot a network connectivity issue? It's time to channel our inner tech support hero.
I love it.
Right.
Okay, so you want to show them you have a system.
That's
You're
right.
not just randomly pushing buttons.
Right.
You know what you're doing. So start by walking them through your process.
Okay.
How do you isolate the problem?
Okay, so is it the device, the network?
Exactly. Is it something else entirely? Then you can bring in some tools of the trade.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mention ping, which checks connectivity, right?
Okay.
Trace route maps the signal path.
Right.
Shows you're not just guessing,
So it's like detective work for networks.
100%. Love that analogy.
Okay, speaking of being systematic,
Yeah.
let's talk about staying current. Because this field moves faster than a 5G download.
Yeah.
How do you stay up to date with emerging telecommunications technologies?
Yes. This is crucial in this field because, what you learned yesterday might be obsolete tomorrow.
Exactly.
So you have to show them you're a lifelong learner.
Okay, so how do we do that?
You can mention industry publications, those websites, the blogs you follow.
Yeah.
Online forums where you can chat with other experts and, maybe even specific courses or certifications that you've pursued?
It shows that you're committed to staying ahead of the curve
100%. You're invested in your growth.
because it doesn't stop.
Never.
It's ongoing.
The learning never stops in this field. All right, on to a very critical topic, because a vulnerable network,
Yeah.
nobody wants that. How do you ensure that telecommunication systems are secure and protected from cyber threats?
Such an important question these days.
Oh
Bea,
my gosh, yes.
with all the cyber threats out there.
Absolutely.
So it's not enough to just mention firewalls.
Right.
It's about showing that you have that security-first mindset.
Okay, so talk about things like multi-factor authentication,
Yes.
conducting those regular security audits,
Love it.
and staying informed about those latest threats, because things are always changing.
Always evolving.
Yeah.
And if you have any specific security certifications, this is the time to mention them.
It's like having this fortress around your network with these multiple layers of defense.
I like that. A fortress, right?
Yes.
You've got to protect those digital assets.
Yes.
All right, let's shift gears to something a little bit more technical.
Okay.
Can you explain the concept of network latency?
Okay. Latency.
Now, this one always makes me think about leggy video calls.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great example. That's how people experience latency in their everyday lives.
Exactly.
But essentially, it's the delay.
Okay.
It's that time it takes for data to travel from one point to another.
So it's like that slight pause before your voice reaches someone on a video call.
Exactly. You got it.
Got it.
And the key is to, again, explain it clearly, concisely, no technical jargon.
Keeping it relatable.
Exactly.
All right. Last question for this part of our deep dive.
Okay, great.
How do you ensure that telecommunications projects are completed on time and within budget? Now, this feels like it applies to almost any job, but especially in a field as complex as this.
Absolutely. This is a crucial question. It's really about showcasing those organizational skills,
Yeah.
your ability to manage resources effectively. You can talk about project management methodologies that you're familiar with, like Agile or Waterfall.
Okay.
Mention any software that you use
Right?
for tracking progress and budgets.
Because it's one thing to say, oh, yeah, I'm organized, I got this.
Yeah, right.
But it's another to back it up.
Exactly. Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
And this is where you can bring in those successful projects from your past
Okay.
as concrete examples.
Oh, so that's where we weave in the STAR method.
Exactly. You got it. Show them what you've done.
All right, so those were some pretty intense technical questions.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet, right?
No.
Because acing an interview, it's not just about what you know.
Right. It's how you communicate it, So soft skills.
Ah, the soft skills. We'll get into those and more right after the break.
It's about how you present yourself, how you engage with the interviewer.
So those soft skills everyone's always talking about.
Exactly. And they're watching those even when they're not directly asking.
Okay.
Like, take active listening. It's not enough to just answer the question.
Right.
Engage with them. Ask clarifying questions. Show you're really present.
So it's a conversation,
Yes.
not just a Q&A.
Exactly. And that ties into communication, right?
Okay.
Can you explain these complex things in a way that anyone can get?
So like imagine you're talking to a client who's not an engineer.
Right, exactly. Can you get your point across without, overwhelming them?
Got to translate that knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got listening, we've got communication.
Yeah.
What about problem solving?
Oh, huge one.
We touched on troubleshooting,
Yeah,
but this feels bigger, right?
it is. Think back to a project that went sideways.
Okay.
Maybe a network upgrade.
Okay.
Everything's on the line. How'd you approach it? Did you, break it down, collaborate with the team?
So this is where I imagine RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Oh, for sure. Because their platform, it's not just suggesting keywords for your resume. It's analyzing what they're really looking for in that job description.
Okay.
And then it's like, boom, here's how you tailor your answers.
So it's almost like having a personalized career coach.
Yes,
But AI powered.
exactly.
So you're making sure that you're giving them exactly what they want to see.
That's it.
Okay, so speaking of what they want to see, let's talk about career paths.
Yeah, love it.
You land this job, telecommunications engineer. What does the future hold?
Oh, the possibilities.
Yeah, where can this take you?
Well, You could specialize.
Okay.
Become like the wireless guru or the network security master.
So find your niche. Really hone in on that.
Exactly. Or, if you're more into leadership, you
Yeah.
can move into management, overseeing teams, bigger projects.
Okay.
Some even go into consulting,
Oh, interesting.
sharing their expertise with different companies.
So you're not tied to one company, even one industry.
Not at all.
Lots of flexibility.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got these new technologies emerging all the time.
Oh, constantly. 5G, Internet of Things.
The demand's only going to grow.
Oh, yeah. This is a career with staying power.
But let's be real for a second.
Okay.
It's not always easy. Right?
No, it's a demanding field.
What are some of those challenges that you might face as a telecom engineer?
Well, one of the biggest, keeping up.
Okay.
Technology changes so fast, you're always learning, adapting.
So that love of learning that we talked about earlier.
Essential. It's not optional.
Right. Got to have it. What else?
And then there's the pressure.
Okay.
You're dealing with these critical systems. Networks go down, businesses lose money.
High stakes.
Absolutely. You need to think clearly under pressure.
So you need to be resourceful, adaptable.
100%. And calm.
Oh, yeah. Can't be panicking.
No. And then, of course, there's the whole project management side of things.
Oh, right.
Complex projects, tight deadlines, budget constraints.
The joys of project management.
Right.
But hey, that's what makes it rewarding.
Exactly. You feel that sense of accomplishment.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier showcasing your experience during the interview. How do we do that effectively?
One word. STAR.
STAR.
The STAR method.
Okay, tell me more.
It stands for situation, task, action, result. It's a way to structure your answers.
Okay.
So you're not just saying, I'm good at this. You're telling a story.
Show, don't tell.
Exactly. So let's say they ask you about troubleshooting.
Okay.
Tell me about a time you fixed a really tough technical problem.
Okay.
You'd start with the situation.
Okay.
Set the scene. What was the problem?
Paint that picture.
Exactly. Then the task. What were you responsible for?
Got it.
Then the action. What did you do? Be specific here. The steps you took, the tools you used.
Okay, so this is where we get into those nitty-gritty details.
Yes. Show them your thought process.
Okay.
And finally, the result. What happened? How did your actions save the day?
So you're connecting the dots for them.
Exactly. The STAR method, it just makes your answer stronger.
It's like storytelling with a purpose.
100%.
This has been incredibly insightful.
Glad to hear it.
But before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
any other tips for just like really acing that interview?
Oh, I've got one.
Okay, hit me.
Don't forget to come prepared with questions to ask them.
Oh, yes. Good point.
It's a two-way street.
It's not just about them grilling you.
Exactly. Asking good questions shows you're curious, you're engaged.
So what kind of questions should we be asking?
Okay, so not the generic stuff you can find on their website.
Right, they know you can Google.
Exactly. Ask about something you genuinely want to know, like their approach to new tech,
Okay.
their plans for the future, maybe even something about the team you'd be joining.
Okay, company culture, stuff like that.
Exactly. Show them you've done your homework.
That you're really thinking about this.
Yes.
Okay, this is fantastic advice.
I'm glad it's helpful.
Now, I know we've covered a lot.
We have.
Anything else we should keep in mind as we prepare for this interview?
You know what? It's simple, but practice.
Okay.
You wouldn't go on stage without rehearsing.
Right.
An interview's the same.
So find a friend, a mentor, practice in the mirror.
Exactly. The more comfortable you are talking about yourself, your skills,
Yeah.
the more confident you'll feel.
Confidence is key.
It makes all the difference.
So you're walking out of the interview, you're feeling good, but
Yeah.
then that waiting game starts. What are some post-interview moves that you can do to give you an edge?
Well, first off, never underestimate a thank you note.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like you got to go old school handwritten.
Yeah.
A nice email within 24 hours, perfect.
So digital thank yous are okay.
Oh, absolutely. Use it to, say thanks, obviously, but reiterate your interest. And this is key, mention something specific.
Oh, okay. So like a specific part of the conversation.
Exactly. That
Duh.
you connected with.
So it's kind of like a little highlight reel.
Yes. It keeps you top of mind. And if there's something you wish you'd said differently,
Okay.
the thank you's your chance.
A little bonus round.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. Now, while we're waiting for that response, should we be like refreshing our inbox every 5 seconds?
Resist the urge.
Okay.
Don't be that person.
Okay.
Instead of driving yourself crazy, use the time for a little post-game analysis.
A debrief with myself.
Yeah. What went well? Anything you'd do differently.
Turning those interview jitters into lessons learned.
Exactly. Now, Let's say you're in the final rounds.
Okay.
Pressure's really on. How do you stay top of mind without being, too pushy?
Yeah, because nobody wants to be that candidate.
Right. It's all about balance. Following up, showing your interest, good move, but keep it brief, respectful.
So enthusiasm, yes.
Yes,
But patience is key.
100%. And honestly, no matter what happens, every interview, win or lose, it's a learning experience.
It's about progress.
Yes. And that's where, RoleCatcher can really make a difference. Their AI gives you those insights.
So you can put your best foot forward.
Exactly.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for this deep dive on becoming a telecommunications engineer.
My pleasure. It was great being here.
For all of you listening, remember, with the right prep, the right mindset, and maybe a little help from RoleCatcher, you've got this.